All right, let's get started. Hi, everyone. I feel like it hasn't been that long since my last stream, but it has been a while since I've streamed the Dinos World, which we are in. And hello, Beast the Brave. I'm glad that you were out of school, but not glad that you got out because of I don't remember what you exactly broke, but I'm glad that you got your cast off. And glad you get out of school because getting out of school is pretty nice. But hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? We're just gonna have a chill day. Probably won't be that long, but if you see here, this is the Pachyrhinosaurus enclosure, and it probably looks slightly different for keen-eyed viewers. I don't know how apparent it is that it's different, but I have basically completely gutted it and then like rebuilt it from the ground up. So it's looking a little different. And obviously I've had to replant everything to kind of make it just a little bit better. I've also changed shaders, so if the world in general looks slightly well, I didn't change shaders, but I updated my shaders. Originally, I was just using I don't know why they're all stuck back here, but we're gonna move them over to the front. I was originally using complementary shaders, and I had installed the 1.18 version, and then obviously a while ago we updated to 1.20.1, and so I never updated it, and so some of the features of the shader pack was not exactly correct. It kind of interacted weird with torch flowers and like the pitcher pods. Like for some reason they were just really dark. And I didn't much like that kind of vibe, and I wanted to start using them in some of the builds because obviously they have a pretty prehistoric vibe. Like in terms of vanilla Minecraft, they are the most like prehistoric looking of any of the plants we have naturally in the game. So I really wanted to start using them. Not the next episode, but the episode after on the Dinos World is going to be pretty heavy on the plants. So just a little warning there if you're not big on the plants. But should be pretty cool to like get to like mix these into some environments and stuff. So I wanted the shaders to work better. So I ended up trying to upgrade to the latest version of complementary shaders, and I didn't much like that because it kind of gave a weird outline on all of the leaves for whatever reason, and it made the trees look really dark. And then eventually I like kind of scrolled through a couple versions, went to like the earliest possible one that was like 1.20, and then used that one. And it seems to be pretty close to what we had before. I think the only thing that's like slightly different is that the ghost copycat blocks that I've been using for the leaves to make it so the dinos don't like float or anything, they are a little bit darker for some reason. Can't really tell why or like know if that's some kind of setting thing. Also, my hair is atrocious right now. I'm so sorry. Um, like I don't know how I could fix that necessarily, just because it's like a mod compatibility and a shader compatibility. So like trying to get all that working is not the most fun. It's and definitely something I'm not qualified for. But I figure these shaders look pretty similar to what we had before, but they interact with those new plants a little bit better. So I've been liking it. It still looks that like very cozy aesthetic is what we want, and I think we've done pretty good. So biggest thing you'll notice is that like, and I'll talk about this in the next episode, is I kind of removed the like path that we had originally built in here. Kind of like you can still see it over in the stego. There's like I put in these paths, like these dirt spots, and they're good, but I don't like them anymore. Essentially, is what I'm gonna say. And like back here in our last redesign episode, we added this area that's much nicer in terms of like just this like forested area where the stegos can be instead of mainly on this path area. So I kind of liked those aesthetics more. I liked it just being forest vibes on the interior of the enclosures, and these are the pathways on the outside. So kind of just denoting that that's dinosaur space, this is human space. Like obviously we're not a zoo or anything, so there's no like real reason to do that. I just liked the look a little bit better of having the dinosaurs in that more wild space. So yeah, I think it's a big upgrade, and I've been liking the aesthetic. But that did mean I had to basically rip out the entirety of the ground texture and rework it. I also expanded the fence out a little bit towards the back. I think originally it like cut off right here between these two rocks. I went ahead and extended it out this way to kind of like follow this river a little bit, which I'm liking having them a little bit more. They do all clump back here, but I think that's totally fine because you'll be able to see them from this like perspective on the path, and then also like when we're up on the mountain eventually, you'll be able to see them really clearly. So, um, but yeah, so like that's the stuff I've done in the world since last episode. There's a couple other things, but I don't want to give everything that I'm doing in the video away. It's going to be a very ceratopsian themed video, just so you're aware, because we're going to basically give some similar treatment over to the triceratops enclosures, because I think the biggest thing that's holding me back with them is just the fact that it's so like, they are so much bigger than I originally anticipated, because they used to be a little bit smaller back in the olden days of the mod, but they're just so big, so they get, like, stuck in every little crevice of this, and so I wanna kinda, like, rethink, rework, and, like, remove some of the trees, and I've even designed new trees that are, like, a couple blocks taller that I wanna use in the world going forward, so that way dinosaurs have just a little bit more room to work with. But yeah. You liked the last episode, Beast the Brave? Thank you. Are you talking about the last video I put out or the last episode of this series? Because I'll take both. I think both were somewhat decent. But yeah, if you guys ever have any suggestions as well for things you don't necessarily like in the Dinosaur world, I'm never above redesigns. And the reason I say that is because I put out world downloads every once in a while. So what I'm never gonna do is redesign something before the world download of it came out. So like all of this stuff is in the latest world download. Like the stuff prior is all in the latest world download. So I think that it's okay to redesign it because I now have it history wise out there. But yeah, so we're gonna build some trees. I have some designs of trees. And they're gonna be a little bit different than the ones we have been doing, but that's okay. Um, and we're gonna kind of focus on some more earthy tones, And between episodes, I have gone through and collected all of this stuff, all of the leaves. I have collected so many leaves, basically a shulker box of each leaf. You like both Beast the Brave? Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I really I think I spent way too long on the SMP video just because I was moving slow, and like I said in the video, April was kind of a very chaotic month between Easter, my birthday, and just like a couple of IRL stuff, and then I was still working at my internship, which is now concluded. I'm back in school though, which is not fun. Um but all in all, we now have tons more time to make content, make some videos, and to honestly get to building. I'm so excited to be back on the Dinos world. Yeah, it's unfortunate that he decided to end his series, but yeah, I do. But I'm gonna try like really hard to do what I set out in the original episode of the SMP. I do definitely want to finish what I started over there and don't want to leave anything unfinished. So for this, what I'm gonna try and do is kind of make this a little bit like that almost. Trees are one of the hardest things you can ever build. And I know because a lot of people do struggle with trees. I struggle too. So it's okay to struggle with trees, honestly. They are pretty tricky to kind of like think organically and to think about how a tree should formulate. But we're gonna give it our darndest shot. And I do have some screenshots, hopefully, that'll let us. You can see where I decided to make the thumbnail right there. Here, I designed this tree, and it starts like from base up. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't have to copy this block for block because honestly, you should really never attempt to copy trees block for block. I think I will thicken up this a little bit though. It's always nice to kind of like play around with trees and then get like a general shape to them, and then eventually you can then like have like a method down. And I've kind of spent the weekend building a ton of trees. I think if you're a member, you will see that I like posted some tree pics of just some trees I made. Um just to like have like some testers. Hello Ryan, how you doing? How's ye fatherland? I'm excited for you to get back, sir. You need a couple days yet. I will say I did really like how that trunk was, so I want to kind of recreate that a little bit. So it kind of like hung over the edge a little bit, kind of like kind of like this. So we're gonna build up like right there, and we're gonna 1, 2, 3, 4. So it 1, 2, 3. Wait, did I get that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I did. Oh, okay. It's tripping me up because I did like that, but so yeah, we go up like this. You'll be back Sunday evening. I'm excited for your return, sir. I have missed you oh so dearly. I'm excited for a ton of stuff this summer. A local museum that's like about, or not local, but like a museum that's like about 4 hours away from me. It's in Cincinnati, so you guys know I live kind of in that area. But in Cincinnati is having a Lego Jurassic World exhibit that I'm really excited for. And then there's another one. There's something else going on that I was really excited to talk about, but I don't remember. Bum. Where's the picture here? Okay, so it looks like I did do that, and I did that, and I did. I know I said don't copy stuff block for block, but I did like this stump placement in this enclosure just because it fit very nicely. I'll have to replace that in a second. Hey Coda, you inspired me to start my own survival forever world with dinos. Love the fossil and archaeology series. When will you post the new episodes? Thank you so much. I'm glad I can inspire you. This mod is so much fun for like forever world type stuff. I'm really excited that I like last year decided that this year was the year, for this. I will say probably um newer episodes will probably be releasing shortly. Like I think this one I've already got about 6 minutes worth of content basically demolishing this. I want to renovate the Triceratops enclosure, and I have another project planned, Ceratopsian themed. Uh, I like to post a video at least every 2 weeks, give or take. I don't like make promises on my schedule just because I am a person that definitely prefers the quality of the video over the quantity. So I don't ever want to make a promise like, oh, I'm gonna have this out, and then I decide like, oh, I don't think I can actually stick to that, and then left people disappointed. So I'll tentatively say not this Friday, hopefully next Friday. But don't hold me to it because some things may take longer, and I'll obviously focus on the quality of the video rather than just trying to rush something out. Um, do I miss the boys? Yes. I think Jacob recently wrapped up his series. GGJ is still playing on the FA SMP server. Um, but yeah, you should. I think Jay still has content that he plans to do on that. He's part of the new SMP that they started with the Pokemon. But I believe he's still planning to make videos on the server. Can't speak for him as obviously, but I believe he does plan. Bum. Okay, 1, 2. I'm just trying to get this base shape down for this one because I really did like this placement. Bum. Bum. Wait, I did 1, 2, then up one. I've fallen. Any build tips for enclosures? I have a few. Biggest thing that I'll like the biggest like just handy tip that I can give you is if you have any kind of mod that has the ghost blocks. Some of them work really well, like work with leaves. So if you ghost block a leaf and like do that, it takes on the texture and the properties of the leaf, but you can walk through it. And that's really nice for enclosures because the dinosaurs won't just jump on your bushes and look all crazy floating. So that's one big like kind of like niche tip. In terms of that, I say kind of like I'm a very natural person when it comes to enclosures, but consider um I do really like to consider like what environment the actual animals lived in and what they kind of like obviously like each thing is kind of meant to be in a biome on this world, but kind of trying to um like consider what the animal needs, the space requirements, really trying to think about like plants and foliage and like how different environments mash together. Trying to think of like, oh, they you got a plains biome over here, or you've got a like a forest or a swamp biome over here. Just trying to think of different environments that would logically make sense for the theme of the creature. And then like I also like because I don't want to say like do everything custom. Like you don't always have to do everything custom. Like Minecraft trees, I've seen some amazing enclosures just done with just like uh vanilla trees and completely vanilla plants. I used as of right now completely vanilla plants. Also, I realized I haven't been recording this on replay. I was supposed to do that. It's okay because I can edit it. Other things. I don't know. Just try the biggest thing is try and find your own style. Don't just copy what you see someone else do. When you're trying to build your own stuff, maybe think about what they're doing and how they're employing their techniques. Kind of pick up some tricks, some tips, some tricks, and then make it your own. Because the worst thing you can do is just copy someone's build block for block. Because that just is like, you're just copying that person. If you can find a style that you can replicate and create really good and it makes you happy, that's how you stay playing for a very long time. Sorry, I'm doing the B-dubs thing. But it does like really help when you have your own style and you make stuff that came from you and your artistic ability, and then you can look out over it like just in a world such as this, like a year later, having everything be here built by you is really cool. Come play Lethal Company with me and Timothus in the coming days. Poe. I will. I will, Poe. I would play Lethal. Can I join Rotors and Rotoms SMP with Jacob? I will not be joining the SMP because Pokemon's not my thing. I've tried to play Cobblemon and Pixelmon a number of times, and I don't vibe with Pokemon that well. Like I like Pokemon, they're cute, they're cool, but I've just never been able to like fully get into it. Like I think they're really cool, and I don't think it's bad to like Pokemon. It's just not for me. Um, I've done like personal like things like my friends have started like 3 Cobblemon servers where they've done all the gyms and done all the things, and it's just never really enthralled me really. It's just been kind of like, oh, I don't really know what to do here. Especially because a lot of those type of like playthroughs don't require building. Like you don't have to necessarily build for anything. You can just like walk around. You don't really need a house. It's just like so no one else like actually builds anything. And that's something that I personally like don't do. Everything I do has to have a building. So and I like in a multiplayer sense, I like seeing builds being made. But in terms of like that kind of thing, um, a lot of people kind of just forego the building in terms of just let's get Pokemon, let's focus on that. And that's it, there's nothing wrong with that playstyle. It's just not a playstyle that I enjoy. So Cobblemon and Pixelmon has been something that I've never really quite gotten into. So I don't know if I would dedicate a series or anything, because then I would just be making content that I wasn't really like happy with. And I want to make content that I'm happy with and that I can enjoy creating. Um, you know, these trees are really tricky. I built them in creative and like designed them in creative. So this is the first time building them in survival, so this might go very, very poorly, but that's okay. Um, let's do a little bit of this. You're so happy Fern is back in his dinosaur world. I have been loving the Fern videos. If you're not subbed to Fern, go sub to him. He's like an insane builder, and like his series is absolutely phenomenal. He just did a massive Quetz aviary, and he actually featured me in the video, which is really nice of him. But it was so well made and so cool. There's like a train station that pulls you up to the aquarium or to the aviary, and you like walk through kind of like JP3 style. It's so cool to like see someone build something like that. As someone who does have an aviary on his list, I will be taking a ton of inspiration from that man and his build. Um, He's just an amazing human in general. So if you've not subbed to Fern, go sub, man. He's so cool. I miss him. Actually, I'd say I miss him. I spoke to him like three-ish days ago is when we worked on a build together. Um, but yeah, what an incredible human being. So if you've not subbed, come on, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Sub to Fern. Okay, I like that shape. It's not exactly what I had in the picture, but it should do us. I'm gonna go ahead with these ones. I'm gonna go ahead and make the leaves for them, just because in the video I plan on like kind of highlighting the fact that these are new style of tree. Um, we're gonna probably throw a bunch of this in. Let me grab these just again to make sure that the stump looks good, because I don't know if I made it look good, but we'll see. We'll see in a second. Did I throw my rockets in here? I did throw my rockets in here. I'm glad I caught that, because I would have been so confused in about like 3 seconds. Let's also grab out some acacia. You can't go wrong with acacia in my mind. Acacia leaves are the best leaves. People hate dog on the acacia tree, but like it gives you one of the best leaves in the game. So vibrant in every biome other than the acacia biome and like dry biomes obviously, but such a good texture as well. Such a nice one. But yeah, here we go. We can I kind of have to remember how I did this in creative. Obviously, flying around in creative is a lot easier when it comes to tree building, because you have like unlimited full 360 movement, as well as if you have Axiom installed like I do, you've got fast place, so you can just like spam the leaf button and everything. But currently not having that, it's a little tricky to do in survival, if I'm entirely honest with you. But here we go. There we are. But yeah, how's everyone doing here? I want to know. Like, I know it's been a while since I did a big stream, or a stream on the Dinos World. I did a stream the other day that was like, it was the Fossil Hunter. It was just a game that one of my friends had gifted me for my birthday, and there weren't a whole lot of people there, so not my regulars. Um, I don't blame it. It was honestly kind of a boring game. I even told my friend that bought it for me. I was like, "Dude, I love you so much, but the game you bought me was low key kind of boring." And he was like, "You know what? I watched the stream and I tabbed out." He told me himself. He was like, "Yeah, it's okay though, because I had put it on my wish list. It's just like oh, this is fun. Like to maybe it was a fun game. Okay, I don't want to knock the game. It was an interesting game. Like it was very detailed, very like very like had a lot of detail in terms of like the process of like paleontology and like some of the cool like there were some pretty cool mechanics. Like I will give it that. It wasn't a bad game. It just was a little bit slow to get started. And so it like didn't do the crazy best it could have in terms of like streaming on YouTube. So but like nothing against the game. It was a pretty fun game, but it just was a little bit boring for me because it like, you know, is like go one place, do one mechanic, go second place, do other mechanic, and it was kind of all just click this thing. And for some people that is like incredibly fun. Not really for me. I am a very much like I need to like 3D move around and like that's how I design things is the Minecraft way. If it ain't Minecraft, I can't do it, basically, is what I'm trying to get at here. But how are we feeling about that? I'm liking it. I'm liking it. It needs a little bit more fluff. Needs a tad bit of fluffiness. But like from below, it's a nice size. The Pachyrhinosaurus does stack up against it. Like it's not like the Pachyrhinosaurus is honestly kind of a small creature in terms of the mod. So this like kind of makes sense for it. But I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put that one right there. But I kind of wanted to basically like all of the trees that I build are these pine trees, or like those are the big trees that I build. And those are the only ones that I build. So I kind of wanted to diversify my tree building and get a couple of different trees built. And if you guys want in a bit, we can head over to the we can head over to my creative testing world. I don't think there's any spoilers, any current spoilers there. There might be like spoilers for like miles down the road, but like I don't think you'll be able to see them. So, but we can go look at some of the trees that I built as like a palette in this world. I'm still trying to come up with any new trees. So if you do think of any trees, prehistoric or current, that you personally would like to see in the dinos world that you would like me to try my hand at, I say try my hand at because I'm not a professional. I am in fact very much not. But if you see anything like that and you want it in the Dinos world, please feel free to send it in my Discord. Inspo and Ideas, I think, is a channel, or it's like suggestions or something, is what we named it. And you can just feel free to put any suggestions in there, and I will take them because I need ideas all the time. I'm actually someone not too long ago put in. I'm forgetting the name of the user, unfortunately, but they put in Carboniferous caves, and that is an idea that I'm going to run with in a future episode, probably in a near upcoming episode, because it was a really phenomenal idea to put all the Carboniferous creatures in like a cave type tour thing. Would you use glowberries to add ambience and fluff? I could. Honestly, you're right. Um, let's see. The biggest problem that I have with glowberries is that you cannot place them on leaf blocks, which is so stupid because they would add so much to just leaves. Like, you know, like they add so much to tree building. But you can't actively place them on leaf blocks. You have to place them on moss blocks or another full block. And so it's hard when you're building a tree that's supposed to be really airy to put a block in it. You can sometimes sneak moss blocks in, but it's very few and far between for me where I find a spot that I'm like, oh yeah, moss block can go there, and I can add some glowberries. But we can go grab some. Let me just pause the recording instead of doing the beat ups thing. We'll go. Let me put some blocks down because I was about to get all the way over there and then have absolutely no room to get some of that. But they should be over here, I believe. I believe. I keep them over here. Glowberries. And we'll go ahead and just grab regular moss blocks because I think those will work the best. We could do the thing that we did with the bushes and like do a copycat block, but I kind of already was hesitant to do the bushes as copycats. It does add so much in terms of, like, the immersion, but it does kind of, like, too many copycats will, like, hurt your, performance on client side, and that's something that I didn't want to, continuously add tons of, like, copycat blocks because I want this to be an accessible world for people. Like, when people do the download, I want them to be able to play pretty good. I remember, like, back when I was a kid trying to load up a YouTuber that I was, fond of, like, his, like, world, and it was huge, and the mod pack was, like, pretty intensive, and I just couldn't run it for the life of me, and I was so upset because I just couldn't get it to work. So whenever I do stuff on this one, I really want, like, it to be pretty, accessible for, like, keeping that in mind for people that don't maybe have a high-end PC for when the world downloads do come out. I know I've said it on stream before, and I don't know if I've ever said it in a video, but, I do world downloads every 20 episodes for my channel members, but at the end of this series, whenever that may be, probably a very long time from now, I will just release a world download, like the final version, for everyone because I don't want to gatekeep this world. I know it means some stuff to. It's crazy that it means things to people like I never thought it would, but it has started to mean things to people. So I don't want to gatekeep that um behind a paywall basically. Uh the love for dinosaurs is free. And so why would I make people pay for that? But I think let me just look real quick here. Um Let me look. I'm looking at a screenshot of a picture off to the side of a couple of trees that I made. I think for this enclosure, I'm only gonna use this one. We've already got these built, so I might build like maybe one or two more in the back corner, and then we're gonna re-put in the pine trees. I deleted the pine trees that were in here because I basically um I built them on the first week of the series and used like acacia logs or acacia leaves on the pine trees. And like I said, I like acacia leaves, but throughout the rest of the park, I've done birch leaves as like a different color for the pine trees, a darker color. So I kind of wanted to redo them. And then when I stripped them down, I realized that the trees were like really, really small and I didn't much enjoy that. So let's do for this tree. Let's see. What did I think I can open another one. Because I have the general one. Well, I did end up doing just like kind of off to the side. Yeah, let's do one over here that's kind of off to the side on its own. Maybe like right here we'll start it. And this one I did a thinner trunk. That's another helpful tip for when it comes to like tree building is like try and build variations of the tree designs you have. It's really helped me at least kind of come up with like just a couple of different variations that you can use throughout your build. Like cuz this is a huge park. So a trunk of that size is not always going to work. So I fiddled around with like making the trunk size smaller. I fiddled around with making like the branches really tall and like just trying to get some variations and like some ideas. That repetition as well helps a lot when it comes to tree building. Trying to get it in your brain like, oh, if I do this, this tree kind of gets a little bit taller, or if I do this, this tree gets a little bit stockier. Um, just trying to get some of those variations in your brain, and then like that repetition, like I was saying, when you actually get to the building part of it all, it does help when you kind of like make decisions in a survival sense. So if you've not fiddled around in creative, I do highly recommend going to fiddle around in creative and just experiment with tree building, um, trying to get like different iterations, like I was saying. Let's do. I'm gonna do something like this. Also trying to put fence gates into branches. It seems weird when you first try it, but it does do something. It does a little something for you. It does a little something for you. Okay, we'll do another fence gate. We can do a fence gate at the end here, like that. I think that leaves a pretty interesting footprint. Um, Maybe we'll do one more like that. Yeah, kind of giving that little space occupied. Another thing about branches is that branches grow to face sunlight and stuff. So very important for you to kind of do that. Um, like to think about like a branch trying to fight its way to light. So if you have something that's down lower a little bit like this, um, it might be like that one. I'm actually probably not going to put any leaves on because I'm going to fill out this one with leaves. And then that one will kind of have been an older growth branch in my brain, at least. Then we just go around like so with our smorgasbord of leaves. And what's really cool here is I've kind of spaced them apart enough that there's this really nice gap of sunlight or where there will be sunlight. And that'll help like a lot, I think, at least. Oh, and I meant to add glowberries. I just looked back over at chat and forgot that I was supposed to be adding glowberries at a point. That's another thing too, is I'm very scatterbrained right now. So if I forget to press the recording button on the replay, please scream at me because I need to have this replay footage good. Um, it's very integral to the actual episode. Well, not like dire, but like I would like it to be in there properly. So I'm just trying to cover all of these like exposed fence posts a little bit, trying to cover up the branches that I've made. Um, it's hard to explain trees if I'm honest. Um, the biggest people that honestly help me get better at trees are Grian, Scar, and then Fwhip are like the biggest people I would recommend watching for tree help and tips. And just like to see what kind of trees they make and then kind of like internalize some of the method that you can see through their builds. Um, Other than that, I did like kind of I went through a phase where I was really trying to get good at trees, and I watched a couple of videos. Like I just looked up how to build vanilla trees and or like custom trees in Minecraft vanilla, and I just watched probably a ton of videos of just like different methods, different people's like takes on like how to build trees. And like I said, there's literally no wrong method. It's just about kind of absorbing what other people do and then figuring it out to make it your own. So like this tree design here was heavily inspired by one I did see in Fwhip's series, and I just kind of saw that he used like mud and jungle as a base, and he used azalea leaves as a as like a topper. And I've kind of tried to replicate that and come up with my own like methodology for building it. Like he never dropped a block for block tutorial, but I did kind of like look at that design. I said, "Oh, okay, that's really cool. I would like to try and like play around with that." And then I spent like a good day building trees, similar variety, trying to figure out my own style of it and trying to figure out like my methods and how I think about it a little bit better. And it's hard to just like say, "Oh, I just kind of place fences randomly." Cuz I like there's probably more intention that I'm letting on, but it's hard to just tell you, "Oh, yeah, you place them like this." Cuz the trees are such a naturalistic thing. Um and so when you're building them, you kind of have to just kind of go with the flow a little bit. And I'm hoping that all of this like talk about trees sounds good and my words are good. it's been a while since I've done stream where build. And so trying to talk by myself and stream it is a bit of a challenge right now, but we're getting there. We're surviving. Hello, Noodle. How you doing? It's been a while. Been a while. I've missed you. I've missed all of you actually. It's been a while since I've had like a building stream. And a building stream that's like by myself. The past couple times I've streamed, I've been with like Light a Cat and Poe and Spike, and I think Alk was on one of them. Just trying to build and like chatting. It makes it a lot easier, um, because I'll have like voice in my headphones. But when you're just streaming, talking to yourself, it's a little weird. So it's been a while. I'm trying to get back used to it. Let's see. Are we liking that one? Does have a certain mystique. Another big thing that I struggle with, and like I'm sure a lot of people do, is where trees slash other foliage meet. Trying to connect them without like covering one or the other up is a bit of a challenge. As well as when building trees, flying. I would love to be able to fly right now so I could just be like, oh yeah, leaf go there. Or oh yeah, you know what would look nice there? A leaf. But I have to actually build up. It does make everything more intentional, I will say, but it is still a bit of a challenge. And I can fly up with Elytra, but it's not the same as like creative flying up, you know? Okay, another thing that will help these look a little bit better is going through and replacing large portions with azalea. Or not azalea, acacia. Replacing the azalea with acacia. Because it's a little bit darker, it just adds a little bit of a different texture. Into some places. Maybe like right into there. Trying to make it look somewhat decent from above. It's really hard to like make sure you're seeing every part that you want to see and doing every part that you want to do. Add one like that. Another thing we could add to these is maybe some pickles on top. Make them a little bit like almost fruit bearing. I know one of the things I've been liking to put in these like kind of patches here are pickles, so like it might be kind of a nice little bit of lore to say like those pickles are fruit from the trees. Let's try and get up on this one. Pretty good, Noodle. Good. Glad to hear. Very, very glad to hear. Very glad to hear. Let's put some trees on it. Yeah, the glow like that is my biggest problem with glowberries is the fact that you cannot place them on leaves. It's also my biggest problem with the I forget what they're called in the FA mod. Something leaves. It's the like kind of palm looking leaves that a lot of FA YouTubers like to use. I like to use them as well. It's just my one problem is that they cannot be placed on leaves, like leaf blocks. And so there's quite a few of those kind of blocks throughout the game that just make building a little bit more difficult than it needs to be. It of course forces you to be creative, so like not too much of a problem. Um but like it is a little bit of like a I want that really cool leaf texture like in a tree. I want to be able to place them on other leaves and not on the logs. So but yeah, so like those trees, I'm pretty happy with. I think the only thing that I would like to add is maybe the pickles, and then maybe we can try and fit in the glowberries. Because I like totally agree that that would like fluff up the underside of the tree a little bit. The good thing about sea pickles though is you can place them on leaves. They're perfectly fine. So just giving them a little bit of pickleness A little bit of pickle on there. My girlfriend would love this. She says her favorite date of ours is when I ate a pickle, because am notorious for hating pickles. I hate pickles. Yeah, I didn't. Spiker, you not in my server? It pings you. It pings you, Spiky Wikey Bo Bikey. You're right, though. I should have sent you a DM and been like, Spike, I'm streaming. Come watch. Come watch me in all my glory. Yes, we are making trees, or at least attempting to. I'm trying to make trees. Jury's out on if they're good or not. Jury's out on my tree building skills, but we'll let the fans decide. One right there. I think maybe one more. Two more. That good? Yeah, I like it. Pickles. Pickles. Little bit of pickles. Leaf Me Be that allows you to play glowberries and leaves. I might install that, honestly. I am notorious for not installing mods that I totally should install. Like I'm really bad about like actively going and saying, okay, I want to add this mod and doing it. Mostly because I'm lazy, and whenever I think about doing it, I don't end up. Just because I like get distracted and forget about it. And then the other times is like, um, someone will suggest a mod and it's either way off theme or it's like huge and like a big like like I would never add Alex's mobs per se to this. It adds a lot of like naturalist creatures, but I feel like that like detracts from the fact that this is like dinos, or like any kind of zoo mod. Like I feel like that's just too much for me. I like keeping my thing very vanilla feeling. So I'm notorious for like I feel bad whenever I don't take someone's suggestion for like a mod to add. But sometimes like I just like am like, oh, I just want vanilla gameplay. Pretty much is how I like my dinos. No, I'm not adding Jurassic Reborn, Nathan. That is a good mod and one I definitely played back in the day. Was a ton of fun when I played it. It was obviously very laggy, um, as a lot of those Jurassic Craft kind of mods are. Um, but I do remember having a good time with it back when I was younger, um, at least to an extent. And I wouldn't add it to this because obviously it's very Jurassic Park themed, and we're very much not Jurassic Park. My favorite dinos mod is fossils. I know a lot of people have a few issues with fossils, like in terms of like I guess the models or maybe like the update frequency. I love fossils. I don't care when they update. I think that they do one of the best jobs of making the mobs feel vanilla. And for me, that is one of the biggest upsides that you can do because I like the vanilla game. The vanilla game keeps me enthralled for like years if I had like a running world right now. Um but I understand that some people want a little bit more zhuzh to their dinos, and that's completely fair. I personally just love the vanilla feeling of fossils. And like I feel like if Minecraft were to add dinosaurs, if Minecraft were to say, okay, everyone, we're adding the dinosaur update, they would never, it's too much work. But if they were to announce dinosaur update, fossils and archaeology would basically be that update. It feels vanilla, it has vanilla functioning features. I think like Fossils does one of the best jobs of any dino mod of being vanilla feeling. Um, and there, I think it's got a strong contender with prehistoric fauna, but I personally haven't really explored it too much, and it's one that I'm unfamiliar with. I think the biggest drawback for that one is just that I have um The biggest drawback I have with that one is you have to download another mod to have it be like analyzers and stuff. And other than that, like base mod, you have to go to like dimensions and stuff for the dinos. And I don't really want to do that. I like the analyzer system. It's nice. It's easy. It's familiar. I realize I probably sound like an old man. You know, now that I'm actually officially 20, I guess I am old. I'm a unk. But I remember the olden days of fossils, the old thing. I didn't know if we're allowed. Are we allowed to talk about your mod, Spiky Wikey? I don't want to. I don't want to shout it out if it's still a secret. But Spike does have a mod, and it does. It's looking really cool. It's still in development, right? I know I'm like literally on the dev team, but I really don't do. I don't do a whole lot. Um, what's the next project? We are working on the Pachyrosaurus enclosure. We built this like episode 3 or so. And I decided that I didn't like it or the inside of it. So we are going back through and we're basically renovating, trying to bring it up to date with my current building skills. Because even in just the 1 year since this series started, and just in this world alone, my building skills have like improved a lot. And I wanted to bring some of that back to this enclosure, as well as just the world has developed a lot in that like year time. There's a lot more materials that I have easy access to and can build with. Obviously, like in the beginning of this world, we didn't even have mud brick at all. So I wanted to update this enclosure and give it some new fwhipage, some new life, and that's what we're doing. The next episode is going to be pretty heavily ceratopsian themed. So if you're familiar with the fossils and archaeology mod, you know that can mean one of four things. Four creatures are ceratopsians in the mod. I will tell you already that one of the ceratopsians won't be included when I say a ceratopsian themed episode, and that's because it lived in the desert, and I don't want to build the desert. So we're gonna figure something else out for that one. But the other three will be included in the next episode in some capacity. If you're aware of the series, you'll know that we already have two of the ceratopsians. So if you can imagine what I'd be hinting at, we're kind of gonna do what we're already doing just for the other one. I know, so crazy, right? Yeah, I basically am gonna redesign the Pachyrhinosaurus and the Triceratops enclosures because I have a couple of issues with them. Different issues, obviously, like the Pachyrhinosaurus one. Issues mostly stem from it was built like one of the first builds in the world, so it was just showing its age. The Triceratops one is a more recent build, still showing its age a little bit, compared to how like my other creatures are. Uh, but it is more amicable and I'm happier with it. Um, the Triceratops. So its issues mostly stem from the fact that I underestimated how big the Triceratops were going to be when I hatched them, and made their enclosure. And now they're massive and they take up so much room and they like get stuck on all of the trees over there. So I kind of want to redo the trees and then redo the trees and then give them a little bit more space, as well as a new geological feature is something that I want to add over there. Spike's mod is public. Please go check out Spike's mod. I'm gonna look at what the name is. Prehistology is the name of Spike's mod. It's really cool. I think he's got a Discord. If he wants to send the link in the chat, he's more than welcome to. But I don't know if I have the link to the Discord, but it is looking shaping up to be a really cool like fossils type mod or like dinosaur mod is what I mean. Um, and it looks really cool. Some of the animations and some of the models are like looking absolutely phenomenal. So if you would like to check that out, it is on the horizon and should be pretty cool. Any plans for the bug house? Okay, I've kind of shifted my idea from a bug house per se to more of the Carboniferous caves. A user in my Discord suggested it. And I am such a good dev, Spike. I'm sorry. I'm such a bad developer. Um, yeah, I warned you that when you told me you were making me a dev. I was like, I've never developed anything. Um, I've barely done anything in there. So, but yeah, good mod, good mod. But yeah, so bug house will probably be less of a bug house and more of a cave system. If you've ever been, I don't know how they are everywhere else, but if you're in kind of where I live, which is like Ohio Valley area, and kind of like Midwest, sort of area, there's like several like pop-up attractions that you can find out in the country that is like cave tour or like this specific cave, come view cave, go in cave, and then there's like the obviously the biggest cave, like Mammoth Cave, I've been to on like a family trip, and it's huge, massive, and they'll like take you on a tour through the cave and like all the crazy stuff. Um, and a user suggested a while ago, like kind of like that vibe for all of the carboniferous creatures, kind of basically as if they were all like in cave biomes. So I'm gonna build probably like a lush cave environment, and that's where we're gonna put like the Tiktaalik, the Crassigyrinus, Diplocalus, all of those like Devonian to carboniferous period animals is kind of the plan for that one. Just because we're gonna be building a couple of other buildings in this world. We're gonna have a building for the aviary, obviously. We're gonna have a building for what I'm thinking is gonna turn out to be a desert house. Just because I don't want to build a desert biome. And I think it would be nice to have like a desert conservation and research facility somewhere in the park. Um, so that's probably the plan for like the Protoceratops and Velociraptor and a couple other of those like desert creatures. Megalania comes to mind. As less of a like raptor or reptile house and more of a desert conservation facility. Um, but how we feeling about this tree? I think so far it looks cool. I think it looks pretty all right. I think the leaf patterning is pretty nice. It's nice to have you all here to like look at my leaves and you could tell me like, ah, Coda, you've missed the whole side of the tree. Should do some Dino Media references, man. What do you mean? I'm trying to find a reference. What am I referencing? I can show you guys something really cool. I recently purchased this paleo art. It is I think it was either a T-Rex or an Allosaurus um skeleton paleo art that I bought and I have framed. It's really cool. It's gonna go up on my wall after stream. Um, and it's gonna be looking really really cool. Leaves too thin. I can add some more. I can add some more spiky wakey. Only for you. Only for you. I want to keep it. I want to keep it airy. Like for this kind of tree, since it's more like kind of arid almost, or like jungle-y environment? Question mark. I don't really know what we're calling this. Foresty. You want to? I want to keep it a little bit airy. Um, maybe using the visitor center roof as like a shelter or something. I do. Okay, there could be like a couple of a paleo media. I'm trying to think because the most recent paleo media that I've watched is Prehistoric Planet and then the Dinosaurs documentaries. And then I also watched a couple. I've been watching the Muldoon logs, but obviously those are all very Jurassic Park. I will be having okay. So there's the greenhouse is another like future build. I think I mentioned it at the top or at the beginning of the series or the stream. Geez, where I was planning on building a greenhouse and doing an episode primarily on plants, like prehistoric plants, and then setting up that kind of infrastructure because I want to start using them more heavily in enclosures like this. Trying to give them a highlight as well because we're trying to fully utilize the fossils and archaeology mod to its full extent. And so I'm going to do an episode kind of like um really trying to highlight those, work on trying to set up some of that infrastructure, and then eventually, obviously, have that be a video. And it's going to be primarily building the greenhouse, and then probably building like some farms to go along with it, like a probably like a auto grower for a lot of the prehistoric plants, or like some kind of harvester for them, as well as probably whatchamacalled. I want to probably try and automate stuff like glowberries, stuff like roots, or hanging roots is what they're called. Ferns. If I could find a way to farm ferns, that would be sublime, because it's one of my most used plants in the world, and you can tell that to him. Um, I love him and the fern plant in the game. Fern mentioned. Um, but yeah, just trying to make some of those like really like botanical infrastructure setup more nice, because obviously we as a like series, most of what I build is nature or like landscaping, terraforming. So having some of those like some of that plant infrastructure would go a really long way for me making these videos faster, because then it becomes less of a, oh, I need to go collect ferns for an hour, to, oh, I've got all the ferns, now I just need to place the blocks. And that like shifts the dynamic a lot nicer. um it makes it a lot easier to make videos. Prehistoric Park is down my alley. I feel like I've heard it. There's like, the thing about Dino Media is that they all have a similar name in my head, like Prehistoric Park. The what's the game? What's the game? I don't know. And there's like Jurassic Park, Paleo Park. All of those like different things are just the same thing. Coda, I have work tomorrow, so you are going to sleep from Portugal? Oh wow! I had no idea I had viewers from Portugal. That's really cool. Good night to you, sir. Thank you for sticking around for as long as you have. You're a saint. Um. Oh, Nigel Marvin. Okay. Um. Yeah. So is that's a documentary, right? Yeah. Prehistoric Kingdom. Yeah. So like, there's a lot of those like Dino Medias get like kind of confused in my very like scrambled brain. But I do need to watch that. That is a good rec. 'Cause that I think was on my list of ones to watch. I did a so when I was at my job, they allow like streaming while you work, because it's like a desk job, and like a design job. So you basically were allowed to like stream something if you wanted. And I streamed like both Prehistoric Planet and the Dinosaurs. And then several, I think I watched one more, but I'm forgetting. I watched a couple shows, like I watched Modern Family at work. Nigel? 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 Did I say it right? I don't know. There we go. But I think that tree's looking nice. Maybe one more on that leaf. I feel good enough about that. I think if there's one thing that I can add, I want to test this texture wise. And I don't know if I did this in my creative world. I might have. But I want to maybe try. Hopefully, if I have that. Do I have the walls? I do. They were right there in the corner. I want to try and mix in the ancient walls a little bit. Maybe towards the base. I think they're a little bit darker than the mud. Um, I think that maybe they might lend well to like a Ooh, yes, kind of a more barky texture. I've used the ancient walls for palm trees a lot. Because they do look like stone, but they also, like, if you take a step back, they do look kind of like bark. So I like them a little bit. Excuse me, Flint. Excuse me, people. We should hang out, Spike. What happened to your PC? Did it like blow up and die? I feel like you said it like the other day, but I didn't know like exactly what had happened to it. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. A little bit of variety in your trunks. Another underrated thing when it comes to tree building, use walls. Walls are good. Walls are good trunks, and then you can branch off to like fences and fence gates and all the craziness that you can get up to. But I think honestly, that's pretty nice. Kind of providing some shade there. I think maybe I might have been made a mistake putting this tree so far away from here. Like maybe I should have like squished it in, but I think it should still provide a nice view from the viewing vent, and that's what I would like. Yeah, it still is pretty nice. I like that. And now it is time for the fun part, which is uh the pine tree building. So those three were those oak new trees. I think I'm gonna quickly go through. We're gonna take a little break from tree building, just like not a huge break. What time is it? Okay, we've been going for about an hour. I'm gonna save the replay footage real quick, separately. I don't know why I do it like this, but I do. And I'm gonna take you into this one, and we are going to look around at this. Also, if you're wondering why I had Coda's Dinos World and then that one, it's because I accidentally deleted the footage that I did before I started demolishing the Pachyrhinosaurus. And I needed some footage from the world before, so I went and downloaded the world download and worked off of that. But here are the trees that I built in a creative testing world, and kind of tried to vary them in terms of like size, scale. I think this is like the exact one that got like copied over into the world, so a little bit different. Like I think another branch or so would be nice. Could take a little bit more inspiration from that one next time I get to building them. And I'll get like a little bit better as I continue to like fiddle with them and build them and like try and get them into the world a little bit nicer. But I did some variations, like some really small ones over here, trying to make them really small. I did basically, I think these are just copies over to here, and they've got like a birch one. I think that I won't use these. Um, I see people use like the birch ones over here. I don't think I'll do them in the forest region, but I might do them somewhere else. Like I was kind of thinking like that might like look a little bit nice in the savannah or like in the plains biome. I mean, I've tried to use glass. I think it's just a lot of people use glass that don't use shaders. And since in the series I use shaders, the glass sticks out a little bit more than it does in just vanilla Minecraft. Like I tried it over here a little bit, and like I could just definitely see it from like far away. Or like maybe not from far away, but like since there's a lot of viewing vents and stuff, it's easier to see. And then here's like the trees that we've been building since the very beginning. I tried to build a couple of extra ones of these, try and get some style, some smaller stuff. And then this is like a newer version of the pine tree that I've built. I really want to kind of convert them all into this and like work off of this as kind of a blueprint. Basically I kind of added I think one or two more blocks to a trunk of one of the other ones, and that like basically making it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks tall before getting into just the singular trunk seemed to make it work a lot better with here we'll name this uh new 3-1. You can't see that at all, but Triceratops. Adding like just 1 or 2 blocks from the design I basically already had made the Triceratops fit a lot better. It's still small compared to this tree. Like it might be a little bit small compared to the tree, but once you have like maybe one that dips down just one extra block and like those branches start 1 block down, like it'll vary a little bit, but like it's a lot more headroom for the Triceratops, which is a lot nicer. And then you've got the Therizinosaurus trees that I built a while ago that are in the Theri enclosure, and then all of the palm trees. I'm trying not to show you that lab build. But yeah, this is the creative testing world. We've got the info center over there. We've got the gazebo for the swamp, the basalt farm. I think this was used in an episode of the Dino Zoo, the first one. I am excited to record episode 2 of that. I haven't gotten started though. It's just like a little school build, and this was the birthday live stream where I tried to recreate the famous artwork. And where did I sit? I stood right here, and then I zoomed in, and I recreated like that family dinner at Thanksgiving scene, which was really funny. Wind Spike collab. We can do a collab video. Yeah, you don't have a PC. When you get a PC, buddy, we'll do something. We'll do something. Yeah. So building off of that, let's go and try and build a couple more trees. Specifically the pine trees. Because there were pine trees originally, but like I said, I just basically full demolished them. They just were a little bit like, I didn't like them. I am winning, Jack. I be winning. Oh, you're on your PC? We can play this weekend. We can play. I started classes, but I only have one class a day, and I've got 2 online classes. So I'm excited to kind of see what becomes of these a little bit. Okay, we're gonna take spruce wood. I'm gonna take the dark oak fences, and we're just gonna build. First we build, then we leaf. So I'm gonna start the recording. I'm gonna go back here. I think I want to put one. Let's put one on this edge. But like I said, kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that 6? Like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's 6 right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll go up 2 there. 1, 2, 3. That's fine right there. I'm gonna take this back. Let's do maybe 1, 2, and then maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And that'll be a good trunk in the back here. I think, wait, Pachyronosaurus is a little bit smaller, so we might shorten this one. Yeah, let's shorten it like that. It'll be just, yeah, that'll be good. And so we'll go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like around here-ish. Here-ish is fine, I think. Looking around, kind of seeing how would that stack up. Let's I left the copycat walls. Let me grab those. Because I like to put a copycat wall at the top. I should have, yeah. Just to kind of smooth out the like point of the thing. Because I could just put like the fences there, but I do definitely like the 1, 2, 3. It is a tall tree. We're doing taller trees now, Spiky. But honestly, when you start doing it, like this is not a tall tree. This ends up becoming not that tall because once you start putting branches on it, it shrinks for whatever reason. It just absolutely shrinks. Just gonna build out over here. Excuse me. I think something along those lines will be good for our first branch. First branch. Let me get on top of this rock here. That might be a problem if one of the dinos tries to do that. We'll look into it though. We'll start over here. I could use moss as scaffolding. No. Click. I'm a professional Minecrafter. tree species, or do you just go with the flow? I kind of like. I did a little bit of like tree research for when I was building the trees that I just showed off. Not like a ton. Obviously, like I am not an expert. I was thinking of some redwoods in a section at some point, probably out towards that way. Um, so I'm not like a tree expert. However, that said, I did do like some looking into some different tree varieties, and that's kind of what helped a lot when making uh those different tree variants that I was showing off. Um, but I do definitely like uh kind of go with the flow a little bit. Like these trees are not necessarily any specific tree. Like the spruce trees I make, like they're just kind of meant to be spruce trees. Um and so that does leave some room for like, oh, it would look better if you did maybe a different kind of tree. Um but I don't want to, essentially. I kind of like go with the flow and I try and figure out what is looking nice, and then I'll try and just like variate that a little bit. Thank you, Spike. I'll look at them because I will. I do, yeah, and like other Minecraft builds helps a lot, like other Minecraft builders trees. Like yeah, it helps to like look at other people's trees, try and get some tips and tricks, and try and adapt them for your own style and stuff. Like I said earlier, the like more these trees. Um, I saw I got inspired basically by a Fwhip video, one of his most recent ones. He built a couple of trees out there, and I really liked one that used jungle logs as the base, and it was really really tall and was kind of like a jungle tree basically. And then I kind of like took that and was like, I don't want to make them super tall, mostly because I don't have YouTube as my full time job, and also the things that I'm trying to showcase are smaller. They're these, Minecraft dinosaurs. So trying to like kind of scale it down, figuring out like a good height as well as like a good width, like a good amount of branches and stuff like that. I'm out of rockets, aren't I? Yep, ran out. Ow! I hit my face. Yeah, just trying to really figure out all that kind of stuff. And it ends up just being like, oh, I build whatever comes naturally and like what feels good. Let's see here. And now I am kind of looking into like maybe when I get into like a very specific or niche area, probably trying to like base my tree off of a very like specific tree, like trying to find a tree picture that I like. So if it's like a very important area, like I'm trying to think of like how to decorate the outside of the info center, trying to figure out like what would be a really cool way, um like what would be a really cool tree. So I might end up like in that kind of context looking for a very specific like tree or tree image to kind of replicate slash take inspo from. We're gonna it's getting harder to make decisions on how long these trunks need to be. So something like that maybe. Um, let's go up. Yes. Remove that. Do you ever make those fake birds and sky rabbits? I personally haven't. Um, kind of similar reason to the glass. Like, I don't know if it's just shaders, but I can always see the fact that it's just candles up there. So it kind of like is like, no, I don't like that. Like, I don't like that I can tell. on a lot of builds. Like I don't like that I can tell that it is literally just some candles up there. I might try it one day, like out there, but I also like if I do the candles thing, it's static. And I don't want this world to feel static. I want it to feel very alive. And so trying to figure out the best way to make it feel alive is I don't want to have just a, you know, a flock of birds that basically just sits there is the rub. Okay. But I think that's a good trunk. I feel like it has its issues. Maybe we'll need to add a branch or something right up there. Maybe. That's true. I did have the I don't know why that one doesn't do it, but I do have the particulate mod, which I want to take advantage of in some areas to make it feel more rushing and alive. We'll figure something out. Okay. I'm gonna stop myself from being like a scar type person and actually eat a little bit. Eat just a wee bit. A wee bit. Let's go ahead and build. Let's do leaves on this one. I think I'm gonna like I was originally just gonna build all of the trunks, but I think leaves will ease my suffering and pain. So we're gonna get some leaves. I should have spruce leaves. I do have spruce leaves. Just gonna need 3 of those, and we'll do a tad bit of acacia at the top. Eventually. Eventually. These guys are the most annoying. I don't know if my world just spawns them super frequently, but I feel like in every single one of my time lapses I've done, there has been a collection of pillagers. If there was a way to stop like decrease their spawn rate, I would genuinely do it. Because they are so frequent in how they spawn that it becomes annoying. I mean, like whenever I'm building like a dinosaur or something or whatever, they just like the dinosaurs just murk them. They just absolutely destroy and demolish them. So it's not too bad, but it is still like a little annoying to just be building and then there's just like a shot from behind. You know what I hate more than pillagers? AI thumbnails. Preach, brother. Preach. That is something like I just can't get behind. AI use for thumbnails. Okay. I'm locked in. We're doing this. I'm really worried that we're gonna like turn around and then this is gonna look really bad. And I'll have like put all this stock into the tree building and the method, and then we'll look back and then it will be really bad. Um yeah, it does you're right. It goes against what it is to be a creator. And I also don't like the fact that like generative like image AI just kind of uses other people's work to splice together. That's something from the very beginning that I've been like very much against because obviously someone took time to make work and for an AI to just then take that and then amalgamate into something for someone else is just kind of scummy in my opinion. You don't have to agree, but I just have never liked the fact that that's part of the process for generative AI. And then it's also like I don't like the fact that people just pass it off as like, oh, yeah, this is just something I made. You know, like if you've used AI, cool, that's great. Whatever. You are so talented, you put in a prompt. Good job. Um, But to then like not put any kind of warning or like any like I guess symbol that's like this is AI to the point where you know some child is going to see that and be like, "Oh my god, that's so cool. How do you make that?" And then realize that you didn't. It's just like why, why? So I would much rather like I would rather give like a master class with Spike and Lightacat on how to make thumbnails, like to just teach people how to make better thumbnails. I mean, I don't I say that. I don't make the most amazing thumbnails. Like the thumbnails that I have made for this series, there's been quite a few duds in there. There's been ones that are just absolutely atrocious to make. Please stop shooting me. I have been nothing but kind to you all. And all my dinosaurs are stuck, so they can't even defend me. Okay, that's it. I asked nicely, I can't kill you. There's so many. Where's this last guy? You come here. What are you stuck on? It's pickles. They get stuck on pickles. Their AI cannot comprehend the pickle body. Please kill him. Thank you. Thank you, Onyx. You're a good boy. I love using my dinosaurs as weapons to fight my enemies. The best. Hint, hint. Okay, I would. I'm not trying to start anything. Let me sleep. 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 Shaders! You're so beautiful at nighttime. We can look at how beautiful the sunset is. It's beautiful. But when I see sunset, I want to go to sleep. Why I no sleep, huh? Let me sleep. You love the mountain behind. Do you have some tricks to natural looking? Usually when I build when they're a hump or a cliff looking. Um, when it comes to rock building, I have evolved so much and watched so many like oh my god, Jaden Farrow, I just saw you pop up. Hi bud. How you doing? Rock building. I don't know. It's kind of evolved even over the course of this series in terms of texturing. I feel like a lot of this is kind of I just followed the natural terrain a little bit but just added stone. So like it doesn't look the best up close in some areas, but when you do take a step back, it does look a bit nicer. Um I would say that like when you're building rocks, it's easy to think you just build round or build a circle or build like a shape. Rocks are so every shape that it doesn't matter really what shape you do. Um like you really just try and like find like a round-ish kind of shape, use your stone colors and a lot of the work comes through the texture. In terms of mountain, I would say kind of just like really just kind of go with the flow when you're placing the blocks. Really don't try and make it super geometrical. That's kind of advice for any natural terrain building is don't get in your head like, oh, 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5. Be more with the flow with it, kind of randomize it a little bit. Try and think in terms of like, oh, this has been tossed around its entire life cycle. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to have a perfect shape. It's going to be a little bit different. You know, it's going to have some wonkness. Pro tip: add wonkness to all natural builds. and you'll be golden. Okay, oh, wrong button. How are we looking from a far away standpoint? Not too bad, not too bad. Let's go down here. Let's try and add a little bit of a vump to here. Jaden, how are you, my friend? How is your life over in the Australia lands? Amico, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Ugh. I really hope I said your name right. I get really nervous when I see new people in the chat and I've not said their name out loud before. I always feel like I'm gonna mess it up and say it wrong, and then everyone's gonna be mad at me. Then I'll be canceled forever. We'll do that and do that. Cover that branch a little bit. Is that looking okay? I think it's looking okay. From above, it kind of gives off that diamondy shape. Kind of what we're looking for. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Here we go. Do that. And try and randomize it a little bit. There's too much of a pattern happening here, if you know what I mean. So from over here, looking good. From this angle, acceptable. Maybe up there. Yes, there's a little spot up there that I don't like. That's another hard part about trees too that I will complain about right now, is the fact that trees are viewable from all angles. So unlike your builds that you can totally greenify and like say, oh yeah, you can't even see this from the back. I don't have to make it look pretty. Trees, especially in this context, like in the dinos world, are viewable from everywhere. You can see them from every angle. You just might not know it yet. Like a lot of these trees that I built out the back here, no idea you would be able to see them from this path. Like 20 episodes later. Not 20 episodes later, but like, a time later. No idea you would be able to see them like that. And so it does create a little bit of a, well, now you see them. What do you do about it? Do you like remake them? Do you add more to them? Do you change them? I went with the method of tearing them all down. Mostly because I wasn't vibing with them. Secondly, because they were old and they had like completely different like build style than I did now. Than I do now. You get me. But now for these, I'm gonna really try and texture a lot of the trees going forward. I know it's an extra step, so it'll probably take me longer to build trees now, but it does just kind of add that little tiny bit that's really nice and something that I do want to continue adding on to this world. Big thing about a world that you've been playing in like, for over a year is don't be afraid to let it evolve. I feel like a lot of people do get wrapped up in the I have to build things in exactly the same way I did them before, and I have to build them so everything is cohesive. Sometimes it's nice to just kind of start doing new things and then doing them next to the old things, and then you can sometimes go back and redo things a little bit. Like I'm going back, like I've been doing things a little bit differently now, in terms of tree building throughout the park, and I'm kind of going back to an old build, tearing it all out and then redoing it. And it's been so long since I've done this particular build that it's honestly coming out quite nice. Or like it's not like demotivating for me, is what I'm trying to say. Is it's so far been pretty enjoyable. It's probably something like that for the top. And just give it a little bit brighter up there. And I think maybe just like around here, give or take, we'll do another smattering of the bluey spruce. Leaf texturing's kind of hard, but like when you do it, it does add just that little tiny bit. Like from afar, that tree looks pretty cool having that little bit of color popped into it. I think we'll make sure that we've got it. Yeah, over there is good. Okay. Another tree done. Another one. Another one. Let me sleep. It's getting nighttime. Okay, it's not nighttime. Dunk. 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 More in here, dunk. I wish I could dunk in there. Can't dunk. 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 Actually need these. Never mind. Take. Pillager head. I have a lot of these, so I don't really want it. But I think a while ago someone asked to see the Moses, and I forgot about it. But it's just re-popping into my brain. So let's go look at the Moses while we wait for it to turn night. I haven't done as much work over here as I probably should have. But or like between episodes as I should have to like get ready for Megalodon. Let's see, can we see any of them? We saw fish. Where are they at? They do like to crowd in the southeast corner, so that's probably where they are. And that's just because of fossils. We can't look at the other stuff in the aquarium though. Look at these guys. Are they running out of food? They're running out of food. Remind me to feed them after stream. Food. Yeah, I think it's just the ichthyes because there's a lot of them. Keeping them fed is really hard because there's so many of them. And they're like the closest towards where I be building. And so they're always the first to like run out of food because I load them slightly more than the others. Ah, here, my Moses. Hello, buddy. Hello, Mel. That's actually the one girl. Sorry. Ba, 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 ba. Yes. Oh, so cool. I love these guys. I'm so glad that I got them in. It's literally it was a dream to get the Moses into a survival world. And to say that I have like a sorry, my throat is dying. We might end stream sooner rather than later, just because of that. But to say that I have mosasaurs in a custom terrain environment has been kind of like a dream of mine since I was probably like 7. You know, playing on dinos and being like, oh, I'm gonna build dinosaur exhibits and stuff and like dinosaur parks. So having the Moses in a completely survival environment is so cool. So cool. So cool. And I've got their like okay, so I've got like a planning document that I've been like updating regularly. And I think I've told you all the next episode is going to focus on the ceratopsians with the 2 redesigns and a new enclosure. And then I was gonna do probably the plant episode where I go through and get all of the aquatic or like all of the plant farms and prehistoric plant infrastructure going, uh, covering that sniffer farm over there with a nice greenhouse build and some like probably some fields of plants of some varieties. And then like at some point after that, like it's still up in the air. I don't like promising the order of episodes or anything, but I was thinking of maybe um moving over back to the aquarium to work on the megalodon enclosure because the aquarium was our very first like big project in this world, and it still remains half. Well, the aquarium building is done, but the outside of it is not done. You can still see that I need to like terraform over there and dig it back even more. It still remains unfinished, and I would really like to say that I've gotten the first major project of this world finished, because it's been this one, then the swamp was a pretty big project, but it's still unfinished as well. Mostly just the tree stuff, and then the like second big build project has been the info center. Um, but I wouldn't mind if that carries over into the next like bit of episodes. I do intend to come back here. I've been working on it slightly between episodes. Like all the fan arts are put into the thing, and then all the competition winners are in here. That'll be in the next episode. Um, at the beginning of the very next episode. So like the inside on this first level is done. I want to do the second level as all Cenozoic creatures, and then there's a sub level down here that I'll also show off in the next episode. But it's basically going to go into a lab on either side for like archaeology and then paleontology. I've got my members list through here. So like moving into the future, this is still an ongoing project, still like the outside of it, obviously. Like bringing it into the terrain is something that needs to be done. So like this is like build project number 2. That's like the big build project or overarching build project that I don't mind going multiple episodes. So that and the aquarium are the 2 we've technically started. But I would really like to finish the aquarium before the next world download, just because I did the world download and I got the entire swamp done, and then I did the Mosa exhibit as like a big thing after that. And so I would really like to have this entire project be readily available and done for the next world download. I did do it's technically in a world download for like the 1 year anniversary world download, but so if you wanted to go into the Mosa side of things, you could definitely do that and look at it through that download. But I want to have that ready for the next world download, just because I think it'll be a really cool build. And I want to build like something in the middle here and something on the cliffs at the end, and then have all these cliffs going around looking really cool. Sorry, I'm talking really fast and a lot. But I do just think that like some of those, I want to start wrapping that project up so then I can start another new big project, you know? I feel like having 3 big projects when the first one isn't even finished is kind of a bad, not a bad thing to do, but like a I'll never finish that first thing unless I make myself finish it before I start new stuff. So I really want to finish the aquarium in the next like probably 5 episodes will probably be that. This one's being the next one in the plants. So maybe 3 episodes out, or maybe 4 if I decide to do a dinosaur enclosure between now and then. Um but all in all, I'm pretty excited. I've got a lot of ideas for videos and stuff to add to this world. Um and just yeah, I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. I need fossils to fix the fact that dinosaurs can't walk on pickles. They get stuck on the pickles. I don't know why they're stuck on the pickles, but they are. That's okay. I will ping Poe later. Like, Poe, fix your game. Let's do. Where can I do another pine tree? I could do one here. Yeah, I think here's the spot. Because then I'll probably put one out here. How often do I do them, really? It's been a while since I've built them. Pretty sporadically. So I'll probably put one. Yeah, like maybe right here where this bush is, actually. Hmm. Yeah, and then I'll probably end up putting one like right out here a little bit on the exterior. and then probably one like right here. Maybe if I can squeeze one in here. Because I wanted this to feel like a clearing. So we'll probably put like maybe another one there, maybe another one here, another one there. Um, Finally back on the single player world. Can't wait for the next episode. It is being worked on, and I've got a fair amount of it already filmed and edited. I say that, I mean 5 minutes, but like 5 minutes in terms of content is a lot of work, or like a lot of like behind the scenes work, if you know what I mean. Like like 5 minutes doesn't feel like a lot, but it amounts to a lot, but like off camera and like stuff like that. Not off camera, but like it amounts to a lot on camera and stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do 5 on that side. Okay, and this will be 6. Yes. And I think if we just build this one up, we can make it a little bit shorter. Do one, yeah, one more block. Do that, then we'll do 1, 2, and 3. Oh yeah, like it's weird that like a lot of work could go into like 5 minutes, and then you'll start like talking to the camera, and you'll end up have spent like 6 minutes just talking, and it'd have gone by so fast. But then like you spend like 3 hours recording a time lapse, and that's over in like less than a minute. It's just weird how that like kind of translates. And I feel like I maybe rely too heavily on time lapses at times. But then again, they're a really good way to just show time passing. The fact that I like built it all. Like it's a good way to show you that I'm the one building it. Obviously because you want to avoid the comments like you cheated. Um and like stuff like that. But like it's a good proof that I built it, and it's a good like show of like, oh my gosh, he spent so much time. You can see the days like ticking by on the screen as you're watching. Like it's just a good, like I really enjoy doing time lapses. So I'm sorry I utilize them so much in the videos. It's just they are pretty easy. They're not exactly convenient to make even, because replay mods kind of hard to use, and I understand why a lot of people have trouble getting into using replay mod, because it is a very like it's finicky in my opinion, and it always has been finicky, and it just like is not the most optimized for actual content creation. Like the fact that you have to like load in each of the things before, or like you have to, what is this? You basically have to load the game again, and then you have to render each thing. It just takes a while. I'm lowering this by a block. I think that'll be fine because on this side it's a block lower from where I started. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be fine. Sleep time. The only other thing about replay mod and like time lapses too is I always feel the need to sleep super early, so that way there's no nighttime in the replay. I really am excited to use flashback because of its features like day night cycling and stuff like that. It's a more modern mod that we can't use in this series because we're on 1.20 working on the dinos and stuff. Um, and I really wish we had access to the flashback mod because it has a lot of really, really good features that I would love to play around with. That's just honestly not going to happen in this series for a while. I don't know when Fossil's plans, if they even plan to port to new versions like that. I don't think it'll be for a while, if I'm honest, because I think 1.1.20 is one of the more stable mod versions as of right now. Okay. Working on this one. Ow! That hurt. Hurt my soul. Okay, let's go like there. Just trying to get in here. I think maybe one. No, honestly. Yeah, let's do this. Let's go over here like this. This is tricky. No. Let's rethink. Maybe something like that. Oh no. Move this one. Move that one. There we go. That works. That works in my brain. That works in my brain. That works in my brain a lot better. Try to do that one. And let's go. Ah, I failed the jump. Okay, we'll do maybe that. It's hard to see really good. Like imagine it with leaves. I feel like this branch is too long. Yeah. I feel like that's too long. Yeah, I like that better. And then I think we'll try and do another one. And building with fences as well is really annoying. So I fully understand when people say that they don't like doing custom trees. It's a lot of work. And I kind of regret it almost. Like I almost regret it. Because if I'm honest, I never expected for my channel to do anything. Like I never expected to actually gain some amount of popularity. I wouldn't say I'm popular. I wouldn't say like I'm like doing good, but there are people that watch my videos, and that's really amazing. But I never expected like people to see this and really connect with it. And in the way that they have at least. And it's really special to me, but it also like means that I want to keep doing exactly how I've been doing. I want to keep bringing that same level of detail into this world and into the builds I do in here. So trying to keep up with that level of detail in terms of the trees, like the custom trees, the custom terraining, it's a lot of work. And obviously that means that sometimes episodes take longer to make. And that's just because, like, sometimes I build trees really fast. Sometimes I build tree real slow because I'm unmotivated to build tree. Because it's a lot of work. And then sometimes like I am able to pump out an episode really quickly, and then other times it's like, oh, how did I do that a long time ago? Like how did I ever get away with making a 15-minute video on this world? I know exactly how. I think I left builds unfinished in videos, and I've decided not to do that anymore. Or like I like videos better that don't end with a clearly unfinished product. Like in terms of enclosures, I like a finished product at the end of my ep. The end of my ep. Good quickly. I just want to see how it looks like in this one. Like I removed that one right there and placed an azalea. Let's say I did the same thing with that one. Does that really make a difference? Not massively. Also gonna place that one and remove that one. Step back. I think it does a little something. I think it does a little something. I think we're gonna do we're gonna do leaves on this tree, and then I think we're gonna wrap it up just because my throat's getting kind of tired and have to eat dinner. I have not eaten dinner yet. It's almost 7:30 for me. Probably means it's gonna be dino nuggies. Let me know if you think I should have something else. Maybe pasta. I can make pasta pretty quickly. My homework's done for the night, I believe. I think I need to upload one more thing, but I think we're good. Actually, you know what? Where's this? Where's the? How do I make a poll? We're gonna make a poll. I'm gonna start a poll. What should Coda eat? I don't like that I referred to myself in the third person. Eat after stream. You get two options: Dino Nuggets, or pasta. Start the poll. My fate is in your guys' hands. As soon as the poll uploads, I don't know how long it takes to upload, but it's launching. My fate is in your hands, and if we're being entirely honest, I will put like a picture in the Discord. If you're not already in the Discord, I'm surprised because you're on the stream. Typically, the people on my streams are the people that care. Thank you. I love you. You're probably already in the Discord, so I'll put a picture in there. I think Dino Nuggets is at 100. Let's see. Okay. Two people. It's between two. Get the leaves on here so I can go eat. Yeah. See, I hate that because the Pachyrhinosaurus are legit stuck on the pickles. They're stuck on the pickles that I used as decoration in their enclosure. And I really like the use of pickles because they're a really good building block. So it sucks that, like they get stuck on them. So I'll probably send a message over to the devs I know and just be like, hey guys, um, they die. I don't like that. Please help. Okay, if we get through here. Not that. Here, here, here. Here. Yeah, it sucks because I can't always like get into every single enclosure and nudge them and free them. If I spent all my time doing that, it would just suck. Like I wouldn't get anything done. So I do have Dino Hunger like turned off so they can't die on me. Um, you know. And I feel like that's fair, especially from like a content creator perspective. Like there's a lot of work that needs to go into these videos, and I don't have time to go to every enclosure and check on them and make sure that they haven't like gotten stuck on like a pickle, which is so funny that they get stuck on pickles. Is the thing that does the dinos in. Little known fact: the pickles killed the dinosaurs. They all got stuck on pickles and then exploded. But yeah, I would say that like it would be more trouble than it's realistically worth. Like obviously I don't like going over to my enclosures and seeing them hurting, like having the damage effect done to them, but I also don't have the time to go around every single time I'm on and make sure that they aren't stuck on a pickle. You know what I mean? I hope that's not like unreasonable to say. because I would genuinely be doing that like 90% of the time. Because I literally have been like in an enclosure. I move an animal off of like one of the pickles or the glass panes or whatever they're stuck on, and then as soon as I go over to the other one, it's already stuck again. Just because of how much of those like little tiny, I think it's like anything that has a hitbox smaller than a full block, the AI is kind of scuffed on right now. So I've used a lot of those, unfortunately, throughout the park. So I would really, really like to see that bug fixed, or if it, I don't know, figure that out. You forgot about the Discord? You should join the Discord, Fire Raptor. It's a really cool place. If you're not in the Discord, what are you doing? What are you doing? I try to. Okay, the only pings that are like I do at everyone are video uploads. And I was really on the fence about that. Like I even talked to my mods, like, should I make like a um video uploads like role or something? Because like I get people don't want pings all the time. Um, but then I kind of realized how many people struggled with just the rules button. If you didn't know, when you join the fan Discord, you have to click the emoji to accept the rules. I think that's pretty commonplace in a lot of like Discords and stuff. You just have to like acknowledge the rules. I've gotten a lot of like DMs or comments that are just like, "How do I get in the Discord? It doesn't work. There's no channels." And I just like, "Did you accept the rules?" And they're like, "Oh, um, not that that's like a bother or anything. You're always welcome to ask questions. But like it's like after seeing how many people like struggle with that, I also realized that they would struggle with the roles thing because I have the roles like set up for like stream notifications and like video updates like for like little teasers to how video progress is doing. Um just like little things like that. I feel like people would struggle giving themselves those roles as well if they struggle with the rules, and I want everyone that's in the Discord to know, hey, stuff's happening, videos out. So that way, the video like notification is the only one I have that's just an at everyone. Just because like if you're in my fan Discord, I assume you want to be notified about my stuff. And if you're one of those people that knows or like doesn't like that, you probably have the knowledge to just mute the at everyone pings on Discord anyway. So, so you're not in the Discord. There's no reason not to be. Is what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at. I try and make it like not too crazily. And I'm one of those people that's not a big heavy Discord user myself. Like in my personal life, Discord for me is only really used as like text messages, and then obviously I have my fan Discord or like my viewer Discord. Um so like it's Discord for me is hard to like use, and even when I had like personal friend servers, I am a very like quiet individual in all the text channels. It's like I read a bunch of them most of the time, but sometimes there's just so many messages that I just get behind and like I never return. I never go back to like read them all. I just kind of mark as read and move on with my day. Maybe that's bad. I don't know. Yeah, you don't have to send messages ever, Fire Raptor. There's no judgment. It's just a nice place if you ever like decide to send your build. I would like to see builds or art. I love art. If you make art, it goes in the info center museum thingy that we've got. So that's an incentive. But like, I love art, or I like seeing people's builds. Some people have been posting their really cool like lab builds and stuff. Um, so like seeing them. But yeah, there's never any pressure for you to actually send messages in the Discord. I get it as someone who doesn't in regular Discords. Like I get the not wanting to, honestly. Um it's not like I don't want to engage, it's just like I don't like Discord messaging or like messaging in all the chats. I forget where I'm having conversations and stuff. In forums like that. So I there's never any kind of pressure for anyone to participate in the Discord ever. You can join and do absolutely nothing. And that's perfectly fine. That's beautiful in a way. Okay, and then I think we'll just add some spruce leaves. Some spruce leaves. Get some spruce up in here. Let's spruce things up. I do get some inspo from the FA Discord. A lot of people send some really cool stuff in there. Like I don't check like the general chat or like the memes chat. The only chats I check in the FA Discord is the announcements for when they ping for like special teasers and for when they ping updates. I follow teasers and previews. I think it's previews is what they have it on over there. And then I follow the FA media because that's where I post my like videos and where I kind of like to look for other people's content just as like a little, oh, that's cool. I'm gonna check them out. And then I also peruse the builds, all of the builds. I love the builds. I love getting inspo for the builds, and they're just really cool. People make some really cool stuff with this mod. Um, like I think that this is one of my favorite mods to see people's creativity shine, because it is a very like everyone can build a park, but how do you make the park your own? And I feel like a lot of people have a lot of individual style and passion that they bring into this this mod and the builds you make with this. Um, and I think it's a really cool channel. But I think I think that tree's almost good. I think maybe just a little bit more spruce like right there. I think maybe move that leaf down. No, never mind, scratch that. Put that leaf back. Maybe just put a little bit like that. I think that's pretty good. I think that that has been a little bit of an upgrade at the back there. This is not done. This is not all the trees that will be in the final episode. I just am running out of steam for what I can do reasonably right now. We've been going for 2 hours and 15 minutes almost. And I have some other stuff I would like to work on, some other things I would like to do. So, but yeah, I think with those done and these couple of trees built in here, I think this is looking really cool. I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream. I'm looking forward to streaming a little bit more. Now that I only have a couple of classes a day, so look forward to more streams. Look forward to more regular videos. Like I said, try and post one every 2 weeks on Friday. Sometimes I fall short of that, and I'm sorry. But I love you all dearly. Thank you all for being here. I will be having Dino Nuggets after stream, and I will send it in the Discord. Um, but yeah, thank you all so much.